welcome to Scorched and a general mid-month reading for the sign of Virgo, Sun, Moon or Ascendant for the last 2 weeks of May. I hope you are well. I'm using the Llewellyn Tarot for you today. What did I have to say? Can't remember. Oh, well, so I know we've had a lot of new people join the channel. Welcome if you are new. Thank you if you are returning. So I thought we would go through how these readings are different to the main monthly readings. They're quite a bit shorter because in these mid-month readings we are looking for the lesson. I think that there is wisdom or a lesson contained within every experience and interaction that we have if we're open to see it, and often we're not because we get bogged down with the minutiae of, you know, day-to-day life and all the dramas that we're living through. Whereas if we could pull back and see a broader perspective, then we might actually be able to see the point of why we are experiencing what we are. It's a spread that I used for myself for a long time when everything was feeling very foggy, and it helped. So that's why I'm sharing it here with you now. So it is an exercise in perspective, essentially. We know hindsight is 20/20. But wouldn't it be useful if we could employ just a little bit of that ahead of time? So to that end, what we're going to do is we're going to pull 3 cards and we're going to see what the energy of you is right now, right? What is your environment? What are you feeling? You know, whatever it is. And then we're going to pull 3 cards and see why you are there in the first place. Now, we cannot overlook the fact that we've just had an absolute humdinger of a full moon, which will be affecting everyone in some way or another. Certainly, I'm led to believe that this is a great purging energy. So there was a lunar eclipse in that full moon too. I don't know if I just said that. And we are in eclipse season at the moment. So it's about pulling out the dregs, like what is right at the bottom, what is hiding in the dark, and releasing it. Very scorpionic in that way. And so, it can be quite uncomfortable. But let's have a look and see why you're there. Because if we can see why we're there, observation is processing, we can release that shit and let it go. And then from there, we'll pull 3 cards of advice and hopefully navigate the way for you a little bit easier than you might have done otherwise. So I hope that that all makes sense. Let's get 3 cards for Virgo, please. 3 cards for Virgo. There's the first one. We have the Empress. I like that very much. Very creative, Taurus energy. And we have the 6 of Cups and we have the Chariot in reverse. So what we have going on here is almost certainly things coming up from the past. We've got the 7 of Pentacles at the bottom of the deck. The way that things are coming up from the past for you is quite interesting. You know, we've got the 6 of Cups here in the center, and there is, in some ways, there can be quite a sort of sepia-toned view of what the past actually was. That I feel is changing. You know, well, for some of us, we get quite nostalgic about how everything was better back in the day, right? But not so for you. I think there's a clarity coming with how things were back in the day. And we're certainly probably going back to childhood here. We have the Empress, which is the archetypal mother. And so, we need to pay attention to that. It could be issues that you are having with your mother at this point, but I don't actually feel like this is the crux of the reading for you. I feel like it revolves around the way in which you are examining your past and how it informs where you are right now, because we've got that 7 of Pentacles there, followed by the 7 of Wands, right? We've got this energy of things not being quite as you want them in front of you, and we've got the 7 of Wands, and for that I feel it really is about how you are fighting something, right? It's resistance here for you, rather than it being a protected or guarded energy, which it kind of is actually, to be honest. Because what we resist generally is because somewhere in our subconscious, we see it as a threat. But we've got the Ace of Wands underneath here, and I think that this is important for you moving forwards, because this Chariot card is in the reverse, right? It's a full slamming on of the brakes. And I think it's because a lot needs reimagining. Right? Where you want to go feels to me like it needs reimagining, because it's too muted. I keep coming back to the 6 of Cups, and I feel this incredible clarity. It's almost like the card is kind of foggy and then it sharpens. It really sharpens up in front of me. And I feel like there's a lot of gratitude for where you are right now, but this Seven of Pentacles is kind of muddying the waters a little bit. It's like, I am grateful that I've got through everything that I have so far, but actually my future feels kind of obscured. I don't really know where I'm going. I don't really know what I want. And it's this insightful look to the past and everything that past has contained that causes the fog to clear. And when the fog clears on the past, it feels like it ripples forwards into the present. And once the fog is cleared in the present, then we're in very different waters altogether. Tell me about the Six of Cups, because this is the thing. Yeah, so Five of Wands is in the reverse with the Ace of Pentacles. It's almost like in some ways the key to your... there's the Tower at the bottom of the deck. The key to your future, the key to understanding your present is to really understand your past and make peace with it. Now, I know that that is a big ask here for you, Virgo, but it is what is being asked of you. Tell me about this Empress. We've got the Knight of Wands. And we've got the Ace of Cups. And it's funny how there's this cyclical feeling going on between all of these cards here. It's almost like you're having to really look for the things to be grateful for in the here and now. Those are your anchor points. Those are your grounding points. But there's also a sense of, once you are grounded, then you can look back at the past. You get some clarity on that, and you can come back and you can ground yourself some more. Anchor is wrong word. It's too static. It's grounding. Because then the gratitude for the experiences and the wisdom that has come from the past is informing the present, which is allowing you to go back into the past. And we're in Mercury retrograde at the moment, and that is very much to do with reflection. It is making sure that you have understood everything that you were supposed to understand. It's making sure that you've done everything that you were supposed to do. But it's the way that this just keeps looping backwards and forwards to me here. And this Chariot in reverse is just kind of sitting on its own on the other side of the table. It's been all like, I'm over here, It's like you can't quite work out what the future is because you're not stuck in this loop. It's not a sticking situation. It's almost like a feedback loop, but a positive feedback loop. And the more insight that you get into the past, the more insight you get into the present. Once you got that little bit more insight into the present, you can go back into the past, and there's more information coming up there for you. And there's a lot of forgiveness and a lot of compassion in this, but you're looking for something in particular. I turned this card over because it was actually face down at the bottom of the deck here, and I was like, what is that card there? I wonder. It's the Two of Swords. It's the thing that you have not seen yet. And it feels like, with that Tower being there, it feels like it's something that is making all of the pieces fit together for you. We've got the Seven of Swords here. It's a card to do with deceit, and usually for me, self-deception, right? The narratives that we tell ourselves that don't actually really hold any water anymore, right? They hold no weight in who you are and who you are in this process of becoming, which seems to be changing daily somewhat. Because we've got the Fool at the bottom of the deck, underneath these two cards. While you're in this process of working out where these narratives that you've told yourself do not apply anymore, it's not necessary, well, it's not even given that you will know where you're going, right? This is not the energy of the Chariot for you. This is the energy of the Fool. It's about releasing the ties that bind and ambling for a little bit and see where you end up, right? The Chariot's very decisive, very, very straight line energy. Going in this direction, and I'm taking everything that I am over there. This isn't for you. What actually is trying to be opened up for you is this ability to be able to meander a little bit. And you are mutable earth. So actually, as I'm speaking, that is a really useful way of kind of picturing what the energy of Virgo can be like, which is, grounded. We hope it is grounded, but also with that element of flexibility that is not present in the other two earth signs naturally, right? This ability to be able to move more, flex and bend in the wind. But this looping is really, really interesting. Let's have a look and see why you are here. Just to add, there is something that you are being readied for here, Virgo. It's something with 2 aces. There's definitely something waiting in the wings. We've also seen the Fool for you. And so if you are quite frustrated with where you are at the moment, if that lack of movement is starting to get you down, you know, think about it in terms of, I don't know, I've just started like making my vegetable garden, right? So I've got some raised beds put in, and I've put in the soil and all that kind of thing. But think about it in that way, in preparing the ground. You cannot put a seed, and you have 2 seeds here with these 2 aces. You cannot put the seeds into ground that is already overgrown with fucking brambles and all sorts of things, right? There's a certain amount of preparatory work that needs to be done first. So maybe you take a strimmer to it and you cut it all down to, you know, a couple of inches high. Well, that's great. You can see the gaps in between all of the plants, but you cannot put the seed in there either, because it will get completely overtaken by all of these bigger, stronger plants, which, even though they've been cut down to, you know, a couple of inches in size, will still grow at a rate that will overshadow what this new seed is that you've put in. So at this point, you now have to get your gloves on or get your hands in there or whatever, and you need to start pulling things up by the root. And this is a process that you are going in at the moment. It feels like it's kind of checking in with the present and then going back to the past, and then checking in with the present, and it's doing this. It's coming backwards and forwards, but it's elevating each time. So once you've cleared your bed of all the weeds, you know, then you give it a dig over and you rake it and you make sure that the you know, I've forgotten what the word is, right? That everything's nice and small, you know, so there's no big rocks or anything in there. And only then, at that point, can you plant the seed and actually have any kind of chance of success. That's my point. And you're not quite at the point where you're ready to plant the seed, but it is coming. This is all just preparatory work for where you are going, you know. Let's have a look. See, why is Virgo in this energy? We have the 5 of Wands, we have the Tower, and we have the 6 of Pentacles. I mean, that's beautiful. That's absolutely what I'm talking about here. We've got the 5 of Pentacles at the bottom of the deck, which is talking about your own basic needs, right? And how your own basic needs, interestingly, have shifted. They've shifted quite a lot, certainly in the last 6 months, but absolutely in the last couple of years. You know, we've gone... things have been really hard and they have been really challenging. And so a lot of the work that you've done has been in response to these difficult and challenging situations, right? If we imagine a line here being neutrality, and this is all awesome and this is all shit down here, you've definitely been down in the shit for quite a long time, Virgo. But all of this work that you've been doing, it's been kind of mitigating and ameliorating and learning from all of the challenging things that have happened. They're kind of bringing you up to this point of neutrality. And now this point of neutrality, this line here, if you would imagine it, is the point where the soil bed is clean and ready to go, right? And from this point here, this is where you plant the seeds, and then everything grows. Because we've got the 5 of Wands here, we've got the Tower, and we've got the 6 of Pentacles. And it's actually, it feels like things are kind of rough at the moment in some ways, but not dreadfully, right? There's a lot of fuckery. I've been using that word a lot recently, particularly during Mercury retrograde. It's just fuckery. It is going back to things a couple of times and then, you know, double checking and triple checking. Very much Mercury retrograde kind of energy, right? But there is a resistance. So resistance that I felt there with that 5 of Wands in reverse that has already come out for you. There's the active resistance that actually you're being asked to just blow up altogether, right? And it's a long and slow and arduous process, but it is coming down, right? It is doing that thing. You are reaching that line there where from here everything starts to be about expanding the positive rather than, you know, reducing the effect of the negative. Because we've got the 6 of Pentacles, right? Things are coming into balance, but you have to be actively involved with the action of bringing it back into balance. I don't think that this Tower is anything too awful at all, because I'll find a way to expand my metaphor in a way that's not absolutely diabolical. You know, the Tower energy, right, is destructive, That's what it is. And in the act of clearing this vegetable bed of what already exists there, what already has taken root and is very, very strong, that is an act of destruction. It's active destruction. You're pulling it all up from the root, you know, and turning it all over, you're breaking it all up. That's pure tower energy right there. But what is left is fertile and can be taken care of, and what you want to grow in there can take root from this point on. Like, that's where we're going with this. And I actually think it's really, really positive. So even if it feels really frustrating, I would say, particularly for these next 2 weeks, I would really stick with it and just keep allowing this, you know, this energy here to do what it's trying to do. Yeah. Let's get some cards of advice, please, for Virgo. There's the Hermit card. I mean, we have the Page of Wands also, and we have the Four of Wands. And that, yeah, I mean, this is really important, right? Be aware of what it is. That absolutely sums it up. Like, what you are doing is creating a new foundation. So it's not that you are not making any progress. It's not that all the doors are slamming in your face. It's that we're on the preparatory bit here, right? You try and build a house without any foundation, see how long it fucking lasts. It won't. That's the point. You know, sometimes you've got to dig down, get everything nice and sturdy, and then you can start building up, because this is a card of joy. This is a card of home. This is a card of building that new foundation. And that Page of Wands it's the energy of getting ready to be able to embrace what comes next. But we've got here the Hermit. It's you, obviously, and talking to the need to go within and have a look for the answers, because the fact is, you have all of the answers, right? They're there inside of you. The Hermit is just going to look for them. But there's also a sense of coming to you as you are now. And I think that this is quite an important aspect to this too, because the ways in which you defined yourself in the past do not apply anymore. I mean, obviously, there are events, there are circumstances that have occurred within your personal experience that will, no shadow of a doubt, change the way that you view the world. But it feels like there's other stuff in there for you to pull forwards that you could not see at some point in the past, where you absolutely can see it now, and it's changing the shades of everything, you know. And we've got the Ace of Swords at the bottom of the deck. This is talking about that kind of mental breakthrough that it feels to me is imminent for you with the Tower, right? Where you see the truth of the matter. You see a truth. I think we're always looking for the truth, but sometimes we're not able to perceive what it is that is right in front of us, you know. We don't have the vocabulary for it. We don't have the experience, you know. What do I mean by that? Well, I don't know. Say, imagine hypothetically, right? You've got shit, I'm losing my words altogether. Fuck's sake. Right, you've got a native tribe somewhere, right? Who've never ever been experienced. Like, say for example, the Incans, right? Incas, rather. Had never seen before anybody who was bearded or anything, or white people, you know, that kind of thing. And they had prophecies about this. And then, you know, along come the Spanish conquistadors, and they've got, like, you know, beards and stuff like that. Oh, I don't know where I'm going with that. No, let's park that one a little bit. That's for a different conversation altogether. My point is, bear with me, is that sometimes we don't see things the way that they are because we don't understand them. So say, you know, some sort of tribe who's never set eyes on people before, and then they see a plane go overhead, right? And the plane lands and then people come out. They're like, whoa, are these aliens? Are these gods come down from heaven to talk to us? You know, maybe it is. Maybe that is what it is. Or maybe it's just some people on a plane and they saw a bit of space and they were like, let's go down and have a look down there. I mean, it's a shit metaphor, right? But it's all about perspective. This is what I'm talking about. Perspective that comes through experience, and you've had a shitload of experience recently, Virgo. And it feels like it's assimilating, right, within you. It's all kind of forming a picture which has you as a very different person to who you thought you were. And I would sit with this energy. I would let it happen, because what have we got? We've got decisions coming up for you off the back of what you see, what this new truth is to you as you understand it, which might take you in a very different direction than the one that you've been trying to go in. There we go. Got there in the end. Oof, I think it's time for me to go and have go and have something. Go and have a cup of tea, I think. Right. I hope that this helps. Know that I love you all very, very much, and I will see you soon.